So, good morning, guys. Anybody has any questions before we talk about something else? Anybody? No questions today? Did anyone work on MVC?
Not yet, not me.
No? Okay. It's very important that you work on MVC. So, go ahead, Jyoti. You're trying to speak?
Yes, Venkat, can I show
Yeah,
one of the examples that I worked on?
absolutely. Please. I'll be very happy.
So this is for the MVC, where what this program would do is I enter the customer ID,
Right.
and it shows me, it displays me the customer information.
Sure.
Okay, so for that one, I created, but I need to have something like, because since I do not want to have any kind of HTML code within the servlet, I used a static HTML like this.
Okay. Good. This is to start with. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're very fair. Okay. Enter customer. Show us in the browser, right? So it's
Yeah.
easy to. Looks like it's already deployed, or
Yeah.
then you don't need to run on server again.
Uh,
Cancel it.
it was, I
I'll
just
just,
want, yeah,
I'll just
I
show
can
you a
run.
small tip. So expand that server. Expand that pivotal server here. Yeah. Yeah. See it? So your application is there already.
Yeah, I can just run it on the browser.
Exactly. Oh, what are you trying to do?
Browser.
Oh, oh, browser also. I'll show you a trick.
It is not showing up in my toolbox, so that's it. This is how I am doing it.
Right. Once you start the server, what I can do is go to
Uh-huh.
servers. I don't think it's started yet. So
Yeah.
first start the server, right click on the server and then start it. Yep. Go ahead and start the server. Once the server is starting, right, go to your application, right click on your application, and then you can go to your home page. No, not there. In the deployed applications. And the servers,
Okay.
yep, right click on there, right click there on that, open home page. It
Okay.
automatically opens up the browser, it automatically takes you to that location. Now you can customize it wherever you want to go. Enter customer ID.html, sure.
Shouldn't matter, but let me check if I put some other code or
Do you want
something.
to check if the server is first of all good? Is server,
Yeah. Can I just restart it? I think it would be
yeah,
better.
no,
Look at the
let's look at the
console.
console.
Look at the
Look
console
at the
first.
console. Exactly, as Shovan was saying. Okay. In the problems view, you don't have anything. Server startup, everything is good. Seriously? Okay.
Let me try it. Sometimes I have this problem with the STS, so
Okay.
when I restart the STS, I just, for the first time when I'm running it, I will just run it on server.
Okay. You can use that. Always use this. You don't have to. Uh, did did you place this outside or inside WebINF? Can you give me the control? Let's fix and understand what's going on here. I'll make I'll ask for that. Okay,
It seems like it's in web content.
let's look at it. Any suggestions, guys? No, it's directly on the web content. Very good. So this one we closed it. That is not correct. So anybody has any suggestions?
9099, is that okay? Or 9090? Okay,
We can
anyway.
start with that. Okay, 9099 is fantastically correct. And the next thing is application context. So let me go to, we don't need to probably suspect this because Jyoti has confidently did it go to module and then, okay, the path is customer MVC. So, yep. So this is also
Venkat,
correct.
Venkat, how did you get this web module? Will you show the mouse click once
Just
more?
double click on this servers and then
Double click, huh?
overview is your server details and then modules, all the applications that are deployed here,
Yeah, that's what is important.
right? And now you try to go there / customer MVC, which is your home page. You will not be able to go. That's reasonable because you don't have your web data. You don't have your index.html. So then refactor rename. Rather than checking for any rather than checking for any rather than checking for any um,
Actually, it was working.
typos.
Yeah.
Rather than checking for any typos, I will not take risk. Generally, for this long name,
Hmm.
maybe I'm old. That's what it is. So I'll just
Okay.
copy and then paste it as is. That's my style, so that I'll never go wrong. Okay, now you proceed. So there's nothing wrong. Okay.
So,
Very good. Okay.
so this is what it is doing, but uh, is this the correct approach? That's what I just want to see because we want all the control through servlet, correct?
That is right.
So what I did is, let me show you the servlet.
See, the static HTML taking the user to static HTML is okay. I
Okay.
think I have no complaints there because that's just a static content, right? So I'm okay with that. So even that one, if you want to hide it, why
Mm-hmm.
not hide in the WebINF and do it like a JSP? And even in that case, take him through the servlet, use MVC properly,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And
Yeah.
then have servlet. Servlet will not do anything in that case other than redirect to the JSP page, the first JSP page. That is definitely an option and that is a better option.
Okay.
So there is a pattern called, we talked about this MVC architecture, right? Model view controller architecture. Within that, the request will be taken by the controller. So controller is good for request processing. Controller takes the request coming from the browser, goes to backend, gets the data, that's model in the form of model. So now if it needs to massage, it will massage the model. Otherwise, it will give the model to view and view will render it nicely. So clear separation of duties and clear separation of responsibilities, right? So there is
Yeah.
a one more pattern called front controller pattern. There is a one more pattern, writing on your machine maybe. there is a one more pattern called front controller pattern. What front controller pattern says is that every single request will be taken by one controller. So we will not have hundreds of controllers, like hundreds of servlets. Every single request will always be taken by one single controller. So if you reduce the number of doors to your home, that will actually improve your security. So that will improve your overall maintenance. So rather than having your user coming to HTML page and going there, at this point I'm okay with that, but have him go to servlet so that you'll have better control on request processing. And then maybe that servlet does not do anything, but redirecting it might look silly. It's not doing anything, it's just a static thing. Yes, even in that case, so you're actually channeling all of your requests through this funnel. And especially in the front controller pattern, you will not have, even the servlets, you will not have 100 servlets. You will have just one servlet. That is one controller. So every single request is taken by one servlet, and that servlet will properly direct based on your URL, the specific URL paths. Okay, and this is what the Spring MVC depends on. This is what your struts framework depends on, the front controller pattern. So we'll talk about it later, but that's my suggestion. Jyoti, go ahead.
The one question that I have is, suppose if I just want to have whatever the functionality that I have in HTML, I just wrote this, and then I just gave, because my method find by primary key, it needs the customer ID. So I am just converting the customer ID that I am getting from this. Can I do the within the same servlet? What I am doing is I am creating a form, and whatever the value that I enter into the customer ID value, can I give it as an input within the servlet, calling whenever I call the method of customer DAO.
Let's try to understand your architecture, right?
So right now what I'm doing is I am just saying like request dispatcher is a display customer.jsp. Okay.
What does display customer.jsp will do? Oh, okay. It will display that customer details. Yes, I got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but here what I want to do is whatever the functionality that I have it in HTML, where I will ask the customer to enter the customer ID, correct?
Right.
That particular piece of code, I put it in the servlet itself just to see. It's for my understanding.
Right.
So here is the code. You can see it, I commented out. Okay, so when I enter something into this customer ID ID field, okay, that one I want to give it as an input to find by primary key method. Okay, so when I tried that, it didn't work.
Two
I'm
answers.
doing it in the, yeah.
You're done?
Yes.
Okay. Two answers.
Did you understand my question?
I did understand your question.
Okay.
So if anyone didn't understand, let me try my best to explain what Jyoti is saying. So this is how she has this current architecture, right? So She's taking user to HTML, okay, static HTML, and then this is where user enters the ID, okay, customer ID. She's going to servlet, okay, getting the data from DAO, and then now servlet is giving it to JSP. Now JSP is displaying it, okay. So can I eliminate this? Can I make, I will have user go to the same servlet. I don't want to write one more servlet for this one. Okay. I want to write the same servlet. And if he's coming for the first time, without customer ID, I will take him to the static HTML. I mean, I know she understands that it's bad writing HTML in servlet, but this is out of curiosity, right? She wants to put it something like this. If at all the servlet has a customer ID, if he comes back, the same guy comes back, okay, first time servlet, we came into servlet, there is no customer ID, so we will push him to the static HTML page, okay. This is where he enters the ID, the customer ID, and then once he enters the customer ID, we will bring him back to the same servlet. Now this time, the request.get parameter, the customer ID will not be now. So she will go to DAO and then forward to the JSP. This is what her question is. Now, while explaining it, I think I gave answer also.
Okay.
Maybe somebody caught it. Did you catch it, Jyoti?
Yes.
You caught the answer?
Yes.
Tell me.
So what I can, the other thing that I can do is I can just go through JSP. Okay, whatever the static HTML that within the servlet, how can I go back to the static HTML? I have to just give the code, correct?
Exactly.
That is one question.
Same thing. Whatever you have it here, it's the same. But
Yeah.
the point is, what you tried doing was excellent. I mean, again, this is a bad code. You know that, I know that, everybody
Yeah.
in the class knows that we will never code like this. But this is actually to reinforce your concepts, to see how every piece works in the puzzle, right? So for that, in that context, what you tried doing was excellent, okay? But what I'm saying here is that do a simple first time when you come to the do get, okay, here itself. So bring user to this servlet first time also, okay, and then first time this customer ID will be blank, right? So if you go and get the request.get parameter of customer ID, hold on to string customer ID. If customer ID is blank, then take him to this page.
Okay.
Okay. Now he will enter, now he will submit it. Now this time customer ID will not be blank. You come back to the same page, same get, or maybe this time what you can do is, this is even smarter way of doing it. When he gets from get, okay, take him to this page, okay, and here what you do is form method equal to no get. Do a post here. Understand? Now, second time once he submits it here, you will not get into the same code. You can get into the same code and get away with if else if condition. Simple if condition works. But what I'm saying is the better way is do a post here, and then once he submits it, now the control goes to do post. You write logic here, all of this right here. Did you get that?
I got it. So or else I can also see from servlet I am going to static HTML. From static HTML I can direct to different servlet also, correct?
You can absolutely do it. Absolutely. But the context when I started, that is why I gave multiple solutions. You know, We gave actually. We
No, but
as
this is really good. Like just within the same servlet, just having the HTML code and then using the method post and write all the code in the post method.
exactly, exactly. But
Yeah,
again, we are not talking good or right or wrong here. We are talking various possible options. One of the option is you can leave the get also. You can try that one also. You just simple logic here. Hey, do I have a customer ID coming from the browser? If so,
yeah,
oh, that means he already entered his customer ID. Okay, then let me go to the database and get the customer details and send him to the JSP, which will display it. Oh, he doesn't have a customer ID coming from it. Oh, maybe he's coming for the first time. Let me send him to the form where he can enter it. That's the idea. That's all.
yeah. Okay,
Right?
got
That's very interesting discussion. Um, yeah, you can use get or post. If you get here, you will have to write that if else condition. If you do a post here, now this is what it is.
yeah,
Okay, this is where it comes, and this is better rather than writing if else, do and
mm-hmm.
post.
Correct.
Separating it out into do and do get and do post is better solution. Now,
Mm-hmm.
if we talk about which one is better, that is better, but I will I'm completely against at this point writing any HTML. We're all on the same page, agree?
Yeah,
This one. So what I will do, what I want to do is actually the pure MVC way, meaning first time when he comes here, right?
uh-huh.
Take him to a servlet, and then you know what? In pure MVC also there is a better way. You can get away with a single servlet. First time when he comes it, he will come through the get, right? When you get it in the do get, all you do is don't write this one. You just say that, hey, request dispatcher dot find forward to a JSP page to enter customer
Okay.
ID dot JSP. Take him to that JSP page. So
Yeah,
where he will enter. Now, once he enters, there you say method equal to post. Now you come to do post, and do post is actually going to the DAO, get the details, um, and then send it to display customer. So
yeah,
you are that is the best solution of all. If
yep,
anyone did
correct.
not get it, I will show right here on Jyoti's machine what I'm talking in code.
I
Yeah,
understood.
I have a question.
Yeah. First of all, can I ask, did everyone understand that one?
Yes, Venkat.
I was
So
little.
what you are saying is instead of putting the HTML static HTML code within the servlet, we can start with we can forward to the JSP page. From JSP page, the customer ID will be entered, and then we write the code in the do post.
You got it.
Yeah,
So
because JSP is working for the HTML and for the working for the Java code. So why we will why we will create the HTML?
No, the thing is, Madhavi, my intention was there was no code that is needed, so I just started with the static HTML because all we need is just to enter a customer ID in the text. So that's why I used it. But whatever the third solution that Venkat suggested, yeah, it's really good. I'll just do that.
did you guys understand that? Maybe it is worth if everyone thinks that we understood this is piece of cake, then I'll move on to something else. But if you didn't get it, it's anyone leaning towards me doing it? Oh,
Can we do here? Can we create the code so it will
okay.
be more
Yeah,
clear?
yeah, absolutely. So this is the idea, right? Now, let me control or Jyoti. Jyoti,
Yes, Venkat.
can you give me the control?
I did not get any request from you.
Oh,
It
I'm
says
already
Venkat
doing it.
has
So you
control.
just don't
You have
you
control.
just don't touch your mouse. I'll take care of it.
Okay.
Okay. So here we all need to understand the flow here. So first time we need to take user to an empty form so that he can enter the customer ID. That is the goal. So in do get, when he comes here, right? Obviously at this point we don't have the customer ID. Obviously we don't have the customer ID at this point. As soon as he comes here, we want to push him. Hey, he's coming here for the first time. Okay, user is coming here for the first time. So now, since he came here for the first time, what I want to do is I want to take him to a page where he can enter the customer ID. Okay, now this is not a display customer. I need to take user to display customer if I have the customer object, but I don't have the customer object. For that matter, I don't have anything. User is coming for the first time. So I will call exactly same thing, enter customer ID. Okay, instead I'll say .jsp. That's all. I'll say enter customer ID .jsp. Request dispatcher forward. That's it. Now, once I'll push this guy into WebINF. Okay, and then I'll rename this guy. So this can be very well. This can be your JSP. You don't need to make any changes. Your static HTML can be JSP. So no need. You don't have to write Java code to call it a JSP. Nothing. It's just a server-side piece. It just hard codes all of this out.write, 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 right? So form method equal to, but this one, if I put get, what happens? If I put get there, if I use get there, ouch. If I use get there, again it will come here. In fact, I don't want to use get to post something, right? That's not a good idea. So what I'm going to do is, that is why in my enter customer ID.jsp, I'm saying a method equal to post here. Okay? Now I'll go back. Now, once he submits the form, all he's entering is the customer ID. He doesn't come here anymore. Get is done, right? Now he will come to do post because you're doing a HTTP post there. But he will come to the same servlet. Oh, let's look at the servlet guy. He will come to the same display servlet. Not sure whether that's the servlet this is pointed to. We can verify that in a minute. So now we can take this guy out, take this guy out, take this guy out, take this guy out, take this guy out. And now we will go to DAO, get the data, and then forward to a JSP page. All of this we want to do it in do post. So go to DAO, get the customer data, and now put it in the request scope, and now you forward to a JSP page. It's a different JSP page this time, display customer, because now you have the customer data in request scope. So JSP will simply display them, right? This is really good, right? Now, just verify one small thing in web.xml. I'm sure Jyoti would have taken care, but /display is going to display customer info search by id.java. Good. Looks like that's what it is. Okay. Yeah. I think we're all done. Simple. Now let's try going to home page. Obviously it will not. So now I can't go to directly the JSP. Now I'm going to /display. Now I'm going to /display. When I go to /display, I'm doing a HTTP get here, right? So it took me to this particular servlet's do get, and what the servlet did not do anything. Servlet just forwarded as is to this JSP page, and JSP has rendered into this nice little box. And now I'm entering here, submitting. When I submit, it's going to the same servlet, but now it's doing as a HTTP post. Now, that's it. So it went there as a HTTP post. That guy has taken this customer ID, okay, from request parameter. It went to DAO, get the customer details, put it in the request scope, and forward to the JSP. And now JSP has rendered it very nicely. Perfect MVC in both the approaches. It's a very, very apt solution. Everybody agrees with that? It's an elegant solution, right? So even though
Yes,
in the first case it might sound that it might look like that, hey, you know what, it's easy, it'll be very tempting to, why don't I take him to the HTML page? That's what Venkat showed in the first initial days of the course. Well, those days are gone. Now we are with MVC. We understood it. We wanted to stricten the gates as much as possible because the request processing must be done by servlet. Okay. So we are actually channeling all of these requests into this, through these servlets. So only servlets will take the request, even if it's static. If it is static, the only thing is, it doesn't do anything. Servlet will not have any logic, but just forward to that guy, forward to that JSP. See, nobody can. Now we are hiding these JSPs in the WebINF folder, so nobody can try to go to those JSPs directly. That's the beauty now, right? Very good example. Very happy. Okay.
Okay, Venkat.
Yeah.
If she wants to go from here to another servlet, which she has in mind, where would she do that from?
That's a great question. Anybody?
I'll leave it there. I want to try it out myself.
Okay.
But
anybody, let's see if anybody can take a guess. This is how we are forwarding from servlet to JSP. Anyone knows? Showan's question is, once I get the customer details, maybe more details need to be added to the request scope. So maybe I may want to forward to someone else. How do I forward to another servlet? Anyone?
It would be the same like correct request. However, we are going to the JSP page. That way we can just put it another servlet name. Is it not?
Anyone? Anyone else? That's an answer. Anyone else? Let's see if anyone else has. Do you guys agree or disagree? Deshkan, you are trying to speak?
Rohit, this is Rohit Venkat.
Hey Rohit, yeah.
You can probably map it to web.xml and forward it there, I mean, map it that way.
Interesting. So,
Usually we display action tag here and we point it to web.xml, and again the action will process in web.xml and redirect it to the JSP that we mentioned in the web.xml. I mean struts config. Sorry.
oh,
That starts again.
you are
That's
all over.
different thing.
I don't know what is struts, by the way.
Okay. Sorry.
I've not heard
In
of struts
web.xml too.
config.
In web.xml too. Yeah.
Okay. All of you are correct. Okay. Everybody gave a piece of information and everybody contributed to it. In fact, there is nothing else I need to add. First of all, I'll take Jyoti's answer as is. There is no difference between forwarding to JSP and forwarding to a servlet. That's the simplest answer of all. There's nothing. There's no difference. You can take him to /hello. Okay? That's it. You can take him to /hello.
Okay, and that /hello is mentioned in web.xml, right?
Exactly.
The same /hello.
That is the point that Rohit and Manikanta filled in. So this /hello, anything for that matter, right? This is one URI. Okay. After your context route, you are trying to go to /hello. That has to be configured in web.xml. There is no other way out. I don't need to explicitly say this, but they spelled out correctly, both Rohit and Mani. So they spelled out that it has to be configured in web.xml. Yes, it has to be. There is no other. It's nothing to do with the question directly, but every single request, every single servlet has to be configured anyway. So putting that aside, the straight answer is that there is no difference between forwarding to a servlet and forwarding to a JSP. You can always forward with the same way, request.getRequestDispatcher here. But whatever the URL that you are forwarding to must exist. Let me put it that way. If it's JSP, it has to exist. If it's a servlet, then obviously, if it's a servlet, it has to go through web.xml. I'm thinking that is implicit. We don't need to explicitly say that, but thank you guys for saying it explicitly. That has to be configured. Now, one thing, did you guys observe? When I say hello, when I say /hello, you guys didn't ask me a question. What is that question? In your HTML page,
Not being
in your JSP page or HTML page, you're displaying like this, you're putting like this. So you are putting your application's context path also, context route also. But how come you just put it /hello? Did you forget that, or is it by accident? What's going on here? Or is it intentional? Anyone?
It's already in the context route. Which the fact that it has come here, I'm just guessing, I'm just throwing wild guesses. The fact that it is here, it means that it's already in the context route. Maybe it can discover from here with that string itself.
It's JSP taken from the context route, which once is already there.
You are not audible at all, Rohit. Your microphone is not working or something. We are hearing as if you are speaking from a mile away. So, okay. Yes, Shovan, what you said is correct.
Yeah.
It's actually the context route is implicitly added. It's added. You don't have to add it in the case of request dispatcher.
But I can add it just to be on the safe side, right? If I want, I can just give the absolute path with
You
context
cannot.
route and everything. I cannot also.
You cannot. The reason is that the request dispatcher cannot cross the context. the request, the HTTP servlet request dot get request dispatcher. Okay, this one cannot cross the boundary of your application context. What I mean by that is your servlet here. Okay, see here, your servlet here. Sorry, your Tomcat, your servlet container here, right? So how many applications do we have in this Tomcat here? We have one application called customer MVC. Now, customer DAO servlet. I can also deploy this guy, right? Right click, run as, run on server, and then yeah, restart server. Why not? How many applications did I deploy now? How many applications did I deploy now in my Tomcat? 2 applications. Now let me take. She worked on a lot of applications. How many applications now? Do you know each application, each web application
3.
is a website? Each web application is a website. You can say that in the real world, right?
Mm-hmm.
So each one of them is a web application. So with the request dispatcher, with this specific request dispatcher, there is one more that's at the context level. I'm not talking about it right now. This request dispatcher, you cannot cross the boundary. So you cannot take the user from this application to this application, this application to this application. You have to, that is why the context is implicit. You don't have to mention it. You can take him to another servlet or another JSP wherever you are running from.
Okay, no, that's not what I asked. What I asked is there any harm
before
in
that,
mentioning?
Before that, I wanted to make a point irrespective of the question. So
okay,
I wanted to make sure everyone is clear.
Fine.
Then we'll get to that. So this is actually part of my agenda.
Sure, go ahead. Sorry about that.
So anyone, did you all understand that?
Yeah. So do you mean that this request dispatcher has a scope in particular to this servlet?
Not this servlet. This servlet. I don't want to get into.
Context.
I didn't talk about the context, but this particular web application, this particular context route. So it can go to any servlet or any JSP within that application. Is it clear?
Yeah.
So you may have 1,000 servlets, you may have 2,000 JSPs. You can go to all 3,000 total JSPs and servlets. Okay? You don't have to put your context route there because that's already implicitly. In fact, you can't cross the boundary there. Okay? With this, HTTP servlet request dot get request dispatcher. And there's one more actually at the context level. I'll not talk about it for now, but there is something else. That can cross the boundary of this one. In fact, not only crossing the boundary, it is not exact forward to another servlet or JSP on the server side. There is one more style called response dot send redirect. So in certain cases, you may have to redirect the user to a different page. In certain cases, you may have to redirect user to something else, to some other page. I'll explain what is the difference between these two. Let me get to whiteboard. So let me make myself presenter. So this is one of the popular interview questions. That's why I wanted to cover it. Are you still holding your thought, Sean? You can go ahead. I think I'll.
No, it was a very trivial question. You said, just basically I marked the words. You said that I don't have to give the context route, But what I asked was, can I give? Will it harm anything?
Will it harm anything? Since it implicitly adds, so let's say your servlet, your context root is slash Amazon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's already added.
Okay, so it will do Amazon/Amazon/hello.
So this is your context root, and you want to go to slash list. Okay.
Right.
So if you say slash list,
Enough.
it will internally resolve to slash
Correct.
Amazon/list. But if you give slash Amazon
Okay, I see, I
slash
see.
list, then it will go to slash Amazon/Amazon/list,
Okay.
which does not
All right.
exist.
Okay.
That's the problem.
No problem. I'll test it out anyway when I do that, when I get
Yep.
there.
But you got it, right?
Yeah, very good. Yeah, thanks.
That's a great question. So, and also you brought up another discussion, which we'll talk about it. So now, since we're slowly settling down in various things, and now I can slowly probably go back to our roots and then cover certain things. I want you to understand this request dispatcher thing. So what happens is, when you make a request to, this is browser obviously, so within the server, right? So you went to like a servlet 1. So you made a request to servlet 1. Now servlet 1 has taken your request, and then it maybe partially fulfill your request, and then it wanted to forward to another guy. So it says that, hey, you know what, please, I'm done with it. So this request is taken by this guy. Okay, this request is taken by servlet 1, and then servlet 1 did something or did not something, it forwarded to servlet 2. Now either servlet 2's responsibility is to flush back the response to the browser. Browser is still waiting. Browser did not get any response. Now the servlet 2 will flush the response. This is response, right? Back to the browser. Make sense? Has no clue that it went to a different servlet or a different JSP. And wherever I put servlet, you can simply replace a JSP also. So once this request is taken by the servlet, you can definitely forward to another JSP too. Definitely. And JSP will flush the response back to the browser. So browser is still waiting, and browser has no clue that the request that I made to servlet 1 has gone to servlet 1, and then it went to servlet 2 too. His URL does not change. Nothing will change on the browser side. Okay. So everything, this forward is happening on the server side. Browser has no clue about it. Okay. Now, there's one more way. Response.send redirect. What happens if you use that is, let's say in certain cases, you completely want to redirect user to a brand new URL, completely different. Okay. It happens in cases where one company takes over another company, and then there's no more sun.com. When somebody tries to go to sun.com, we have to redirect user to oracle.com because sun has been bought by Oracle. In that case, what happens is, when a request is made to a servlet, right? I made a request, but servlet 1 realizes that, hey, you know what? The URL has Sun has been completely bought by Oracle, and then he shouldn't be coming here in future. I want to tell him Make it explicit. I don't want to behind the scenes forward it and make him ignorant of the fact that he's going somewhere. What I want to do is, now I'll respond back to this guy saying that, hey, you know what? Hey, I changed it. Sorry, I'm not the guy you need to go to. You need to go to a different guy. Under the hood, I send HTTP status code 403, if I'm not wrong. 403, I believe it stands for redirect. Let's look for quickly. Oh, 403 is forbidden, huh? I was wrong.
It's actually 302, I guess.
Which one?
Venkat,
Yeah.
302.
302?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take your word. Actually, 400 series is all errors, right? Actually, how did I pick that? Okay. Somehow I remember it as. So it will send some piece of information saying that it will send some HTTP status code saying that, hey, you know what? I'm not the guy. You need to go to a different guy. Okay. Some status code, I will send it saying that now I will give you the new URL. New URL is oracle.com. Okay. You need to go to this one. Now I'm pushing the response to the browser. And I'm telling browser that I'm not the guy, you need to go to a different guy, and I'm giving you information also which guy you need to go to, which is oracle.com. Now browser makes a fresh request to oracle.com. Now browser makes a fresh request to oracle.com. So initially it went to sun.com. Okay, this servlet realized it. Hey, we should not entertain this guy anymore. I'm not the guy who I can respond. I will redirect him. This is what it is. Redirect him. And I'll say that, hey, you need to go to oracle.com. And browser is making a second call. This one typically, as a user, as an end user, you will not feel anything. A guy sitting in front of the computer, you will not feel it. But browser is doing this redirect for you. So browser got the response from sun.com servlet saying that browser needs to go to a different URL, and then browser already went there. Now if you go look at the URL in the URL bar, the actual URL will be changed to oracle.com because browser is making an explicit call. But here, browser does not know it. Browser does not know that it went to a different guy. It's all happening on the server side and then finally giving one unified response. So in this case, browser is getting the impression that I called servlet 1 and I got the response from servlet 1. No, you did not get the response from servlet 1. You got the response from servlet 2. But browser is ignorant of that particular fact because URL, if you ask for /list, it's always /list. It doesn't change. But here, URL will be changed because browser is making an explicit call. So how do I get a response dot send redirect? So if you want to do a response dot send redirect, browser will make an explicit call. So you're making an extra round trip to the browser and browser is making a second call. But this one is request dispatcher. This is the difference between request dispatcher versus response.send redirect. Typically asked in interviews. That's why I wanted to cover this. Okay.
So, one second.
Yeah.
So, the servlet 1, in the second scenario, servlet 1 sends back this 302 code, right? Somehow.
Sure.
And then that one sends back, automatically sends to Oracle site, goes to Oracle site.
Browser is making an extra call. Yeah.
Okay, extra.
Browser
Okay.
software is making an extra call. Browser now is going to oracle.com as if you typed it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, got it. That's all. Thanks.
Okay. Um, so this is about it. And then that is about
Venkat,
it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What is the difference between the URI and URL?
The difference between URI and URL.
Yeah.
In
I think
yeah, go ahead. In one
I
case,
just want to,
okay, go ahead.
yeah, I would like just to address if I'm correct. The URL is just specifically the location of the info, the address, but they are specifically the address for a single file or a single folder that's unique in the web world.
Maybe correct. Okay. Maybe it's the same thing. Let's see. So URI has a bigger context actually than URL. Uniform resource locator and uniform resource identifier, right? So URL typically resolves to a web address. Okay. So it means something in the web. You can locate something with that. But uniform
URL, right?
sorry?
URL is the web
URL,
address.
yes.
Okay.
That's a web
Thanks.
address kind of.
Mhm.
It's like a CNN.com, right? Google.com. So it typically resolves to a web address or a website URL. But uniform resource identifier, Zach, does not have to resolve to a specific location in the web. It can actually help you to identify something. I'm going to talk about something called JSTL today. Okay, there I will show you the URI. Give me about 20 minutes or so. I'll talk about the URI at that point. URI means that it's like a name using which, hey, you identify me. I'm not going to web address or something. It can be anything. It can be rohit.com. It may not exist. Okay. Or it just say http:// me dot something. Okay. It does not have to be actual a web address or anything, but that actually helps you identify something. What does it identify? We'll see. It can vary, uh, depends on a lot of things, or probably maybe I can look at the web.xml and see.
Venkat, I want to add my 2 pence to that URI thing.
Uh-huh.
That is, see, I've written certain programs where I have accessed HDFS, like Hadoop file system,
Okay.
and over there, that's not exactly a website, but over there, the calls that are given, they are given as URI dot something. I mean URI classes actually.
Mhm.
So URI could be a file system also. It can be a file, as Antenna said.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It does not necessarily have to be a website, as in
In
the
fact,
case of URL.
it does not have to start with HTTP:// For that
Yeah,
matter, it
correct.
does not have to start with HTTP colon. In some cases, it starts with file colon slash. It does not have to. It does not have to resolve to anything. It's a logical name. It can be, okay, it can be as simple as shown. It can be. Actually, if you look at this web.xml here, right, in the schema location, we are specifying we are specifying a logical name and then URI. So this one, if you are wondering that, hey, where is this one? So does it actually go to the real website to get the actual XSD? Okay, in this case, you went there and you got the XSD, but your Tomcat, your servlet container or your Tomcat actually does not make a web call to go there. This is actually a URI for something. Okay, so using this guy, it will actually locate the actual XML schema definition. Since you don't know what is an XML schema definition, I will talk about in few minutes. We are going to talk about JSTL. There I will show you what a URI is. Okay. Any other questions?
Venkat, before you go there, can I just note down the name of the project where you put the JSPs?
Yeah, I think it's this one, right? Servlet2_2015.
Servlet. Oh, it's in servlet2_2015. Oh, JSP and everything bundled over there. Okay, that's fine.
Yes.
Okay, thanks very much.
No problem. Okay. Madhavi, you have a question?
And what is the difference between HTTP and HTTPS?
We'll talk about that later. It's you'll not understand right now. We'll talk about it in the at the time of web services. So one is secure. Two short answer is one is secured, one is non-secured. So if you try to this is CNN.com, just HTTP, okay? And then if you want to go to HTTPS, like all the Google stuff, right? HTTPS and actually gmail.com. So that's actually HTTPS. So there are actually two different services that will be running in Tomcat. Okay, one is on HTTP, the other one is on HTTPS. And when you make a call from the browser, maybe let me elaborate a little bit on that. This is your browser. This is your browser and this is your server, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you make a call on HTTP, okay, what's the default port number for HTTP?
80.
80.
8080?
It's not 8080, it's just 80. 8080
Yeah, that's what I
is
said.
the default port for your servlet container. Okay, but actually, man, it's complicated. So when a browser is making a request, right? So all these while we are saying this is your Tomcat. So boy. So this is your Tomcat. Right? This Tomcat is, let's say, listening on 8080 or 9090, right? So you may be wondering, nobody had asked me this question before, like, hey, you've been showing me, you're saying that we are building, sites like Amazon and all that stuff, but how come when we go to Amazon, we just go to Amazon.com, right? But how come in your case, you have to go to, let's say, your local host and then colon 8080. So what's the difference between these two? Why am I making this extra? Why am I specifying my port? How come I'm not specifying any port here? The reason is when you say HTTP colon slash slash, when you're using HTTP protocol, the default port for HTTP is 80. So under the hood, if you look at it, browser is already making colon 80 for you. It's making your life easy. You don't have to do it. Browser is already doing it for you. Okay, it is just helping you. But you are making this colon 80 means, hey, please take me to a service who is listening on port 80. So it doesn't take you to Tomcat, right? Because Tomcat is listening on 8080 or 9090, right? But you are saying it's 80. Well, what happens is most of the websites, I mean, we are learning the fundamentals, right? But it's later. So what happens is your Tomcat will not take your HTTP request directly. Your Tomcat, for that matter, any web container, your servlet container, let me put it that way. Your servlet container will not take the request directly coming from the browsers. Rather, because it's a separate port, 8080, and most of the firewalls will block 8080 to go out to 8080. So that is why 80 is ubiquitous. Everybody accepts HTTP. So what happens is when we are ready to put this into production, what we do is before it hits the Tomcat, we put a different server here. That is called HTTP server. We put something else called HTTP server. So this HTTP server typically acts as it does a couple of things. It acts as a load balancer to balance the load across your Tomcat servers, and also it will serve your static content like images, CSS, HTML files, JavaScript, etc. You'll be front-ended with HTTP server. Your HTTP server will take the request coming from the browser on port 80 typically, and then HTTP server will forward your request to the Tomcat, and this guy will be listening on 8080. So this 8080 is internal. You will have somewhere here, if I go deep, this is on the server side, right? So your HTTP server will take it, and then this Tomcat is in your private network, which can be talked only by your HTTP server. Okay, if you don't understand, don't worry about it. But if you do make a call on 80, or when you go to Amazon.com, just like HTTP, whatever you send it will be sent to the server as is in a clear text. It will be sent in clear text. If some smart people somewhere in the world, everybody can see the traffic, right? So if somebody can tap into your network and then they can sniff what's going on this network. Okay, so is this guy sending some username and passwords on a clear text? If so, then these hackers, right? Hackers can take they can take your username and passwords and credit card information, and they can go somewhere else and buy on your behalf happily. Okay, so that is why most of the conversation can happen HTTP on most of your websites, but when it comes to usernames, passwords, any of the payment information, any of these ones is happening, they will immediately take you on HTTPS. HTTPS is actually a secure protocol. Okay, the port for that one is 443. It will go on a different port. Okay, the default port for HTTPS is 443. So what happens is it actually creates a secure tunnel, and your information will be going in a secured fashion. So all the sniffers, they cannot watch it because there is a secured tunnel around that. Okay, so that is the difference. Make
Venkat,
sense?
I have a question.
Venkat,
So
are certification keys dealing with HTTPS?
good point. Because the certificates is a different topic.
Mhm.
Your cryptography and all that stuff. I don't want to talk about it, but I don't want to talk here. But yes, the short
Yeah.
answer is yes.
Yes. Okay.
Because
Will we be discussing about all certificate, how what it is and everything in later
probably
on?
not. I've never discussed
Okay.
in any batches because that's a very specific thing. If you have something, you call me or come home or
Yeah. Sure.
set up a, if you're really interested after the course, if you all of you think that it's um, let's discuss, let's have some fun, I will have some fun too. I like talking about that one too.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Sure.
but I've never talked,
Okay.
but I had some experience. I worked on it very actively. I mean, actively is a wrong term, maybe. I happen to work on it. Yeah,
Yeah. One fine day we'll be sitting on that.
sure,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Thanks, Venkat.
no problem. Yeah, Rohit,
Venkat, I have a question. I have like two questions.
sure.
Now, one is with the localhost 8080 when you said that generally when I hit localhost 8080 slash context application root,
Mhm.
uh, what it happens is when I hit that, it shows me the page, whatever it has to be displayed. Say some ABC page is there that Amazon that will be displayed. But in the URL link, there would be, when I hit the enter key, I see that HTTP prefix is added to that.
Right.
So it means that localhost 8080 overrides 80, or is it something different thing going on there?
It's completely different. So what? It's different. Let's take a slow ride here. So what he's saying is, when I go to Amazon.com, here it's a HTTP is hidden. I mean, Chrome is hiding it, right? So it's getting added. That's your question, right?
Yeah,
But where
that's
is
right.
8080, right?
Yeah, instead of HTTP, suppose if I'm running my local server, we hit localhost 8080 and then slash Amazon something we hit, right?
Okay.
Exactly. When we hit it, then it shows HTTP added as a prefix. I saw it somewhere actually.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. It is added. Your browser adds HTTP. This is actually back then when I was working in the initial years of my career, right? Okay. We don't have Chrome back then, so we used
Right.
to exclusively go to http://localhost 99. You have to make it explicit. These new browsers are giving you a facility that, hey, HTTP, I know that you are going, every website in the world is going on HTTP. At least it starts with HTTP. Of course, we have HTTPS, that's on 443, but I know every website is HTTP. Okay, then you don't need to do it. Actually, Chrome, if I'm not wrong, Chrome introduced that to make your life easy. There is no logic, nothing else, nothing more. So, as a user of it, you must always do this one. You have to explicitly say to your software that, hey, I'm making it HTTP. I'm using HTTP protocol, right? But this is again your browser. It's on your machine. So what browser does is it takes your HTTP, okay? It understands that, oh, this guy is using HTTP, and then it sends a HTTP request on the other side to the server. So this is actually a simple, fancier way, and then it is just utility that makes your life easy. There is no logic, nothing related actually. Um, there's no logic underneath that. Okay, it's did I make
But but still localhost does but still localhost acts. I mean, it just shows your servlet page which you want to still, right? I mean, it has some purpose. Even if you don't really write HTTP, you mean localhost has some purpose, right?
oh you're all over. I'm only talking about this one
Okay.
this one, Rohit. I'm
Okay.
talking about your first question, which is, hey, when I write localhost 9999, browser is automatically adding HTTP. My point is, let
Hmm.
browser add it. It has no meaning.
Okay.
Meaning, it's just a simple utility to make your life easy. That my answer ended there.
Okay.
I'm only talking about browser appending HTTP. Okay.
Okay. Right.
Now let's talk about localhost. That's a different discussion. I did not answer that, or I did not even take the question there. Did you
Okay.
understand the first question?
Yeah, I
So there
get
is
that.
no, it's just browser is adding HTTP just to
Hmm.
make your life easy. That's all. Nothing more,
Okay.
nothing less to it. Now let's
Okay.
talk. You're talking about localhost, huh?
Hmm.
There is a lot meaning it. It's not HTTP here. TP,
Hmm.
the answer that I gave you. Localhost is actually, as I told you, your browser needs your protocol. If you give your protocol, it knows that, browser knows that, oh, I need to communicate with HTTP. I need to communicate with Amazon on HTTP. I know that. So I know which port to use it. If you don't have to give me 80, I know HTTP uses 80, I will use it. Okay? That's all. But the next one is the actual server name. The actual server. If you know Amazon's IP address, let's say Amazon's IP is 12.41.96.65. Let's say you happen to know Amazon's IP address. Okay? And then do :80. This is as good as Amazon.com. Simple.
Right.
You are doing a more technical way, more fancy way. That's all. So what we are doing here is that this is your port, which your browser already added here because your browser is smart enough to know that you are using HTTP. Okay. Your Amazon.com to your IP address is already in your DNS lookup,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
Domain naming service lookup, right? In DNS is a simple telephone directory like a book where
Yeah.
every website or every
Just like Yellow
um,
Pages.
sorry, just like
Yellow Pages.
yeah, just like Yellow Pages, exactly. Just like Yellow Pages. Hey, I want to go to Amazon.com. Okay, Amazon.com. Okay, this is the IP address because under the hood, at the network level, everything is IP address. I need IP address. That is how I identify a person in the world. That's how I identify a computer that is connected to the internet in the world. I need the IP address. Either you look up Yellow Pages or you by heart it. I don't care. If domain naming service never existed, maybe we all have to by heart these guys or write somewhere in the phones or somewhere on a piece of paper and say, if you want to go to Amazon, If my mom wants to go to Amazon, it's like http://12.41.net. Oh my God. Imagine. It's hard, right? So that's why DNS lookup saved. So you understand there's a lot going on between Amazon and this one. And then port 80, well, I know that you are using HTTP. I know your port is 80, so no worries. So browser is doing all of this. Browser, when you do Amazon.com, browser is doing all of this. This much browser is doing. Did you get that?
Yeah.
Now, point is, since our Tomcat is installed, it is not installed on a machine somewhere in the world. It's installed on my machine here. So if you're referring to your local machine, there is a shortcut called localhost. That's it. That is your localhost. By saying localhost, hey, I'm talking about the machine that I'm on. This machine, the one I'm working on right now. Okay? And then colon, it's not 80. So let's say we are using 1990 for the Tomcat. Now this takes you to Tomcat. Did you get that?
Okay.
Is this crystal clear or any confusion in your mind?
Right. No. I got it.
Very good.
But I have a small hiccup still there.
Yeah, tell me. Speak up.
Now when I hit HTTP localhost say 1990, which you showed right now, it shows that it's hitting my machine, right?
Oh, wait. Actually, we spent a good 1 hour on this one earlier. Mister, you're not in the class probably. So
no, it's just that it still brings up HTTP. My point is it still brings up HTTP. So
this is your wait.
There's nothing to do with that.
This is your computer, okay? Something like this kind of computers, billions of computers are there across the globe. When you say local host or any IP address, right? When you say local host or your IP address or Amazon's IP address, 12.62.96.1, okay, whatever this one is. So with this one, we will identify the computer. Now in this computer, there is a database service. Oracle will be running on 1521. Okay. There is a Tomcat running on 1990. There is a Oracle listener, TNS listener, running on 8080. Okay. And there is a RMI running on some 1921 or something. Okay. So you have various services on this computer. Now you need to tell where are you going? Do you want to go to database? Do you want to go to Tomcat? Do you want to go to where do you want to go? You came to my house, but which service do you want to use it? I have hundreds. That is the port number. Now you tell me. Now you ask your question, actual question.
I understood this concept that localhost 8080 redirects me to that particular Tomcat server. I mean, I'm clear with that. There's no doubt in that.
Sure.
Only my question is, when you hit the enter key, you get HTTP prefix added, and you said that it's just a utility.
That's it.
So
there's no logic to it. Simple.
Okay, then that's fine. Then I'm just trying to clear that thing only.
You are supposed to. This is exactly we learned. This is exactly how we worked for several years. We used exclusively. Yeah. If you don't put HTTP:// the way I remember is for the people who have been learning after Chrome came into picture, probably they don't know that they have to write ://HTTP.
Exactly.
All of this.
Exactly. Even I didn't know that. I am still hitting localhost 8080, but it gets me a page wherein like HTTP is prefixed after rendering the page which I'm wanted to be.
Yep.
So I'm still wondering that I really need to type HTTP. That's what I'm still wondering.
It's either you type or Chrome gives you for free. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Whether your browser software understands that it has to use HTTP to go to the server. Simple.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Madhavi, did I answer your question? It's a secure tunnel. So that is why you will see that HTTPS when you deal with some sensitive piece of information, and that's where, as Mani said, the certificates. There is a big topic called cryptography certificates. This comes into picture. Actually, every company like Amazon.com, sorry, this is on the server side, right? So every company will buy some certificates. They prove that, hey, Amazon, someone from Amazon goes to a public certification authorities and say that, hey, I'm Amazon, can you give me a digital certificate? They call it digital certificates. And say that now when you communicate, when Amazon says that, hey, I'm Amazon.com, see that I'm certified by this guy, by VeriSign, certification authority, and I proved myself here, then we trust these guys because there are billions of websites now, right? So how can we trust everyone? So that's why all of these guys get some certificates from a trusted companies, trusted authorities. Actually, they call it CAs. Okay, certification authorities, and that's how all of this the information goes back and forth. Once we trust these guys, then we'll create a secure tunnel, and then in that secure tunnel the information is passed through so that all of these hackers they can't sniff through. Okay, that's about it.
Venkat,
Yeah.
I have a logistical question about Eclipse. See, when you search something, I mean, I really get a little confused about it. See, when I do a search, I should do a file search, or see, when I'm looking for a certain string within all the programs or within a certain context,
Right.
what should I put? Containing string, I'll put the word
Search
import, for
file.
instance.
This is what I use typically. File search,
Okay, hang on. I'm now stuck. Yeah.
and
Let me
then
get that. Yeah.
here do a servlet. For example, you're looking
Okay.
for containing file
Yeah.
name pattern. It can
Yeah.
be
Okay, if it's within a
star.java.
project,
You
in a smaller
can
set.
do selected resources or working sets. You can do a working set. There's no working set. You can create a new working set. You can do a working set of type resource probably, and then you can do let's say servlet to 2015.
Okay, so working set resources. That's on. Okay, that's fine.
And
Enough.
then,
That's
or you
fine.
can select something, then so you just say
A
that,
bunch of them.
okay, my project,
Okay, I got it.
or just say servlet to 2015, and then finish it up. So
Okay,
select only
that's
in
fine.
this guy. So I'm only selecting this guy. I'm only
Yeah,
searching in that one. So
got
I'm
you.
not searching the whole workspace now.
Okay.
I'm only selecting within this context.
Okay, now if I want to compare
Uh-huh.
two projects, is there any way of doing that at all?
Good question. We typically compare two different files like this. See here, this one and this one. Select both of them, right click, compare with each other.
Compare with it. Okay. That's the
Compare
best
with
I
each
can do.
other, and the left side and right side. It nicely shows.
Okay, well, that old stuff. Yeah, we know that. Yeah.
It
Okay.
shows the clear difference, as you go next difference, next difference, next difference. It clearly shows. Now you're talking about comparing two different projects. Let's see if the same thing works. I've never done myself, but let's see. Maybe it works. Compare with each other. Hey, that's not bad. So, yeah. So if you want to do a specific, I'm not sure how this guy. Oh, see this one? It's saying this guy is not there in the other one, but this guy is
So
here.
compare with works.
Yeah,
Okay. That's fine.
this is like your
Yeah.
beyond compare, or yeah. This is like your beyond compare, but it's beyond compare does much more than that. See, this one is a new file here. This one is a file that does not, you don't have it, meaning within this MVC one you don't have it, but it's coming from outside. So all of that. If you look at it, it will not, you will not find
Okay.
it. Now
Okay.
probably
Okay, fine. That's fine. It's okay. Rest I'll do it
see
myself. Now,
web.xml,
when I
it
pull
exists
out
in both of them.
something from your system, when I check out, I find that they get red actually. I mean, like there's some error, a bunch of errors crop up, and I have to massage it every time. Why is that? I mean, is there something? There's no difference between yours and my
Possible.
system.
It's possible because when I check in,
Mm-hmm.
I'm checking in my whole settings file also, my Eclipse setting file also, meaning
Okay.
um, my server details.
Mm-hmm.
So see here, these are my facets, dynamic web module 2.5, Java, JavaScript, etc.
Okay.
Then if you go to servers, probably, see here, my server is set up like that. If your server is different, then obviously it will say that, hey, I'm sorry, I don't find Pivotal TC Server Developer Edition version 3.0 on your machine. Because all of this, Eclipse, everything that you do, it actually writes to a couple of files here. Go to Navigator view and then go to this
Okay.
guy. See here, dot project file. So this is your project name, and then these are all various
Okay.
natures that it will put it.
You
Okay.
are right.
And then that class path, whatever we put it in the class path, everything gets added here. So if I just share this one with you, everything is good. Now class path, look at it, this guy. Class path entry, con, Tomcat, pivotal. If you don't have the same thing, then you will definitely have issues. So
Okay, but why would it affect .java? .java is not okay. This can give it can give this thing errors. What's
it
that error
depends, right?
called? A compiler error. I mean, what's that error
Exact.
called? What's that error called?
Which
The
one?
one that catches the compiler errors that catches right away at the time of coding. There's a technical term for that. You often say that. Okay, you often ask that question.
Compiler
Not
errors.
runtime,
time.
not runtime error. The
You're
opposite.
talking about checked exceptions, something like that?
Checked
No, no,
exception. Yeah, it's
that's
giving checked
different.
exception.
No, that's different. No.
Yeah, because this code is red. The code is red. So
No,
it means
no. That's wrong, Tom. Sorry. I have to correct it.
okay.
I have this habit of correcting it that I did.
Please, of
So,
course.
checked exceptions related to exception handling only. If a line of code throws an exception that you did not do anything about, then your compiler definitely slaps you and say that, hey, you need to either catch it or rethrow it. That one definitely you will not get it from the code that you checked out from my machine. That you will not get it. Period. So what you get is compiler errors. Could be because of various things. Maybe you don't have JDK 7. I'm just saying, okay?
Okay.
But my compiler setting has been set to 1.7. Or I'm using later version, or you are using older version. Or you don't have the same server setting that I have. So all of this is possible. Those are all compiler errors, but nothing to do with the checked exceptions. The checked exceptions, that context is limited only to exception handling.
Okay, but see, it's giving an error like just a line like protected void do get HTTP servlet request REQ and that kind of line. It's completely benign. I mean, like there is first of all no difference between your version and my version. But had it been okay, you're gonna get it. Yeah, I already clicked it. I clicked it. You get it. You get it.
Okay, give me the control. I'll show you.
Yeah, give me this thing. Yeah.
This is why I typically request everybody to use the same. This one I'll show you. See here. Give me the control. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, you
I'm
got it.
I'm I'm handling it. Look at it. What is it saying? It's a compile time error shown. Everybody. What is it saying?
Yeah, but
HTTP servlet cannot be resolved to a type. Meaning, hey, I don't understand this class called HTTP servlet. Compiler is saying that I don't understand this one. Oh, where is this HTTP servlet coming from, by the way? We never did anything with it. Meaning, all these while we have been getting for free. As soon as we say servlet new servlet, as soon as we say right click new servlet here, we are getting this one. I mean, every class must extend HTTP servlet. We know that HTTP servlet is there in javax.servlet. This, your container automatically provides it. Your Tomcat provides it automatically. Tomcat comes with the servlet API. This is part of servlet API, but it's not finding it. So what do we have to do? Right click.
Shit, man.
what is it?
Mali.
So Java build path, and then go here. Let's look at see here 3.0. Let's look at this guy. Let's go to problems view first of all. See here the project. Let me close all the projects except the one we are looking at, and I'll show you once for all. It will not be a problem for others because I think everyone else is using the same version as mine. See here, target runtime pivotal TC server edition 3.0 is not defined because I checked in with those settings. This guy is not defined in this version 1, servlet 2 2015 version 1, right? So now go to right click properties, libraries, this guy. Let me control
Okay,
it.
don't
Okay.
change it because I. Oh, okay. I'm saying don't change it, please, because they're all working stuff. My some of my things are working. It'll give problems.
Okay.
So please don't change it. What I'm only asking is, why is the source code getting impacted? Even the source code will get impacted for that? See, it's showing red in the source code. Import this and that, all these kinds of things. That has nothing to do with the server version, right?
Anyone wants to explain? This one is coming from this javax.servlet. Javax.servlet. This guy is coming from server. Your Tomcat automatically comes with a servlet API.
Okay. Fine. Then it's fine. Then it's well explained. Fine. Thank you.
It
Okay.
might be missing off that jar file actually in the build config file, build path.
It's not an explicit jar that we put it as part of any dynamic web projects. Okay. This is a servlet spec, javax.servlet, javax.servlet. All of this is a servlet spec. Okay. So if it's a, let's say your OJDBC6 jar file. We are exclusively using it. I checked in, you will get it. Every single guy gets it. But your server itself, you will not get it. Actually, if you look at this guy in the build path, see here, it depends on server library, pivotal TC server, developer edition, runtime, unbound. It doesn't exist. You just you just remove add library and then server runtime. You
Please
to
don't add.
add the
Please don't add.
appropriate server runtime, either this one or this one, and then you're all set. Okay.
Okay, and that explains. I was wondering why it's coming. It should be the same. Okay, these are dependent on the Tomcat's stuff. Actually, that's why. Okay, that's fine.
Yep.
The version.
Yep.
No problem.
Okay. Any other questions?
Not me.
That's a good discussion. Good. Okay, so can we take? We'll talk about. I'll introduce a little bit of JSTL, I think, or let's see. Okay, sorry guys, we're taking some time. So now, we talked about servlets, we talked about JSP, we talked about MVC. Now, the last class when we looked at MVC, so that JSPs are actually not replacement for servlets. They both nicely complement each other. You know, separation of concern, separation of responsibilities, right? We can improve the productivity, we can improve the maintainability of the application if we follow MVC. That's what we realized. But let's look at these JSPs. Now, we hated HTML in servlets in Java code, right? Putting all of them in the double quotes. We never liked it. But how about this code? Now we are actually going to different level. We initially did not like, even now, right? We did not like HTML in Java code. But now with MVC is much better, but still we have a lot of Java code lying around in HTML-like code. So we don't have HTML in Java, but we have Java in HTML, right? That's the problem. Why is that a problem? Well, it's for the same reasons. So HTML is typically used by these people, like web designers, and then they don't want to see this. They easily get confused with the code like this because they have never seen this kind of code in their life. They don't want to do it, right? So even this one, for that matter, JSP expression is also exactly like that. Don't want to see that, right? So you can avoid a lot of, to an extent, the Java code using a concept called expression language. JSP expression language. So expression language is nothing but, if you have an object, okay, so let's say you have, in this case, an object called customer, right? Object reference called customer. Now, if you want to display the first name, you don't have to call the get first name. Rather, what you can do is you can put that in EL expression. The expression, you can use EL language, expression language. So you can do all the EL syntax looks like this: dollar, and then curly braces, and then you close your curly braces. Whatever you write within this is actually an expression language syntax. Language expression. So you write that EL expression within this one, and this is how your servlet container will understand that, oh, this guy is a special code. This is expression language. So by leveraging or by taking advantage of these getters and setters, okay, so there is a specific standard of how we write the getters and setters. As I told you, according to the Java Bean according to the Java Bean framework, right? So if your field name is first name, you must write your getter as get, and you make this uppercase, and this is how your getter should be. And your setter should be set, make it uppercase, like this. By taking advantage of this, if you use expression language, you can lot simplify it. So you don't have to use these JSP expressions anymore. Okay, if you have something like that, then you can do a simple customer dot first name. So what happens in this case is that your customer your customer is an object with this particular name in any of the scope. We didn't talk about the full scopes yet, but at this point, let's say in the request scope, HTTP servlet request, right? So how can you put something into HTTP servlet request? You can say request dot set attribute. And how can the other guy take from request scope? Request dot get attribute. We can use request dot get attribute, request dot set attribute. Okay. So using expression language, you can improve the readability of your JSP pages. So you can make them less Java-like and more HTML-like. So we want to get away from mixing of these concerns. HTML and Java are two different languages, two different concerns, two different people who are interested in it. Web designers are completely interested in only HTML, and Java developers, they are heavily interested in Java code. They are sort of interested in HTML. So to improve the readability, they introduced this JSP expression language. So this is how it works. I'll show you with an example. Or probably without touching this guy. I think it's not fair to touch this one, and so what I will do is I'll just copy paste this guy. I'll say or 2015 or Feb 2015. Okay. So this is my new project that I created. Now I can safely close everything else. I only like to work on one project at a time. Now let's look at it. I copy pasted, obviously I got everything else from here. Now when I list the customer, first of all, let's deploy this guy. And I don't want these many applications running in my server too. I only want to run one at a time. That's me. Main reason is it will load up faster, and it creates a lot of less problems. There are no problems as such, confusion for me. So I'll change this guy to /el, okay? And then I'll restart this guy. Okay, this is how it looks. So /servlet2/list. So obviously this guy is changed. We have to go to index.html and then say /el. Okay, and then here also /el, because our context path is changed now. Yep. So this is how it's working. So to make this using expression language and to make this less readable, to make it a little more readable, sorry, I'll say customer dot first name. So using expression language, what happens is your object in whatever the scope, and then your field name. Directly you can say your field name safely. The reason is, behind the scenes, as I said, it uses Java Bean validation standards, and then it will make a call like that, customer dot get, and then make this guy's this is flip the F to uppercase and then first name. This is what happens under the hood. So that is why you need to follow the standards when you generate the getters and setters. So let's go to customer.java for a second. Sorry. Let's go to customer.java for a second. Then if I change this guy for some reason, I changed it. I like this one. Okay, get F, I made it lowercase. Well, it works in Java, right? I mean, I can definitely do it. Of course, none of this really works, but that's not my point. My point, you can definitely change this guy. That's not a problem. But all the tools that depend on this Java Bean framework, so get first name. It should fail. Okay, let's see first of all if it's working. Oh, so it's not working. Why? Just for fun, I'm changing it, right? I wanted to show you the importance of this guy quickly. So, okay, then it's not loaded properly. It's going somewhere else. Is it possible it's going somewhere else? Is it really the list customers or something else going on? Let's look at it. So when I go to /list, it goes to web.xml, obviously. Okay. List customer servlet. Okay. We're actually not calling the list customers directly. That's the problem. See here, we are printing the HTML directly here. So it doesn't matter whether whatever you use it, it's actually getting printed here. No, this is not what we wanted to do, right? So this is our list customers. Oh, this is like a JSP page. Where is our MVC example? Oh, so I have taken the wrong example then. Sorry. I'll delete this guy. MVC 1 2015. This is what I need to take it. Let's go and see if that's the case. Yes, this is what we wanted. And then we wanted to go to webinf list. I'm sorry about that. The time waste. Let's copy paste this guy. Okay. Now I can close this MVC because we don't want to go to either servlets or JSP directly. We want to use MVC from here onwards. That is the whole reason why I introduced early on. Okay, so we have to rock and roll. Okay, now let's. You can also drop this guy like this. You don't have to say right like run as. You can bring it and drop it also. That also works. And now let's go here. Actually, quickly change the context name to something simple so that.
Venkat, did you drag drop it?
Yeah.
Or just copy drop it.
Yep.
Okay.
I drag dropped it.
Okay, thanks.
I just did like this, dragging, and then see here. I just put it here. Okay, let me. Okay, looks like
Usually
it's.
I do run as actually.
Yeah, definitely you can do it. It's just something simple, right? And now if you want to look at our customers, let's change this guy. Hey, so everything looks good, right? Now let's go and say, let's break this guy. Yeah, it's breaking. This is what I was dying to see that. Okay. Anyways, we got it. Now, using expression language, you can do like a customer dot first name, and under the hood, it will do some nice text for you. Oops. Okay. Yeah. So what it does here in the expression language is that it will look for an object with this particular name customer in all the scopes. Okay, it definitely improves the readability. Okay, and then this was introduced in JSP 1.2 or something like that. This is like 7-8 years back. It's not there from the early on. So there is a more powerful way of actually showing it. We will get into that very soon, but it expects an object with this particular name, and then it will make a get first name. So what it does is under the hood, since we did not talk about all the scopes, I'll talk about the one in request scope, right? So we know how to what this single line of code, what this one does is it will do like this under the hood. Request dot get attribute, and then with the name customer. Okay, and then it gets the customer object. It doesn't know that, it can't write like this, right? It can't write this simple code like this because under the hood, it has to write everything using a reflection. It doesn't know the object. Now, this is when all the tools use reflection. So now it says that customer dot get first name. So, and then it will actually display this guy. How does it display? Using an implicit, it will display like this. It using an implicit object called, or it can do like this. Cust dot get first name. So these 2 lines of code will be written by this one. That's the beauty of it. So it definitely improves the readability, and then more succinct. We'll look at a few examples. This can be an object or it can be a map also. Okay. And then there's one more style of doing it using your array-like structure, array-like syntax like this to read the values from a collection. Okay, so to see this in action, what we need to do is we need to create an instance of a customer and put it in request scope. Okay, and then do a customer dot first name. It will just do a customer dot get first name like that. I'll show you with an example. Let's say at the time of list customer, if somebody calls list customers, we're going to DAO and getting it right. Now, I want to just to show you guys how this works, right? I want to take the first customer. Okay, customer, first customer equal to customers dot get of 0, right? Now, I want to put this guy into request scope with a different variable like first customer, and then this one, like I'll say FC first customer. Okay, now so I got the lot of customers from DAO, and I've taken the first customer and putting into the request scope as first customer. Now look at it, I want to treat these guys differently, right? So in the browser, this is how we look, okay, at this point. And now I want to treat the first customer differently. How do I treat it? So probably before all of this, okay, I'll just say first customer, first name. Okay, all I have to do is this particular variable name. Okay, and then whatever the field name that you're doing, if you want the get first name, what is the field name? The field name is this one without the getter and lowercase of f, right? Then what does it do behind the scenes? Behind the scenes, once it get the customer object, it will do a getter f uppercase. It will automatically do it. Now refresh it. So first customer first name is Yuri. So you can completely use this kind of syntax. And now if you want to do first customer last name, I'll just break this guy. Okay, last name, and then address, city. It will call the get city method. State. Okay. With this one, right? It exactly matches. Of course, I have to say last name, address, city, then state. Now I'll show you the fun. Now I'll show you the fun part. Let's go to customer.java now. Did you all understand this? Did you all understand this? Using expression language, you can write less code and less Java-like code. So we want to write as less Java code as possible in HTML and as less Java-like code as possible in HTML. And we want to write no or minimalistic HTML in Java code. So we clearly want to separate them. We clearly want to separate them. That's the goal. Okay? And expression language helps with it. This is expression language coupled with the next topic I'm going to talk about it, which is JSTL. These two will make our life 100% easy. Really beautiful concepts. Okay, now I wanted to show you how it depends on certain conventions. Let's go. We have used the first name, right? So what I want to do is my get method. I did not, I'll just stop this guy. So I did not use Eclipse getters and setters. I did my own way. Okay. Well, I can fix the Java code. Not a big deal. I wanted to show you how the tools depend on this simple concept. Now, good. Now let's look at it. Big fat error, unable to compile class for JSP. Okay, let's go to, yeah, this is not what I wanted to see. This is very fair compilation error, so I don't need to show you that. I failed. It did. Let me look at this one. So I had a typo here, and then the property not found exception. Look at it, javax.el.property not found exception. Property FIRT not found on the customer. So I could not find a property here. Okay, so let me be very honest. I'm learning something for the first time along with you guys, is that if I use this first name, right? So it actually, under the hood, it actually does like this. As I told you, it calls this get first name. So using reflection, this is what it calls it. But it did not. So it did not fail, right? Because there is no method with the F uppercase here. So it did not fail. I was hoping to show you a failure. This is what I had going on in my head, right? When I changed the F lowercase, it should have failed. It should have failed with the error saying that I'm sorry, I did not find a method name called get first name because we changed our getter to get a first name, F lowercase, right? See here? So we changed it. So tools wouldn't know about it. But I couldn't show you that. The reason it appears to me that it is not calling the getter, it is directly looking for the field name. Is that right? I'm also learning for the first time. Let's look for it. What happens if I don't have the getters? How many people will
Venkat, could you say it again, what you said?
Yeah.
Venkat, could you say that, what you said just now? What I understand is you are avoiding writing the getters with this new thing.
No, that's not my. What I was hoping to show you, I couldn't show you, okay, yet. What I wanted to show you is these getter methods, okay, getters and setters. You have to follow the convention. The reason you need to follow the convention is all these tools, okay, when you call the first name and then get first name, right, F uppercase. But if I change this to lowercase here,
it should fail.
It should fail. The reason it should fail is because
it's not in the conventional.
The reason it should fail is because, so take my customer object and then you want to go to the first name field. So what I know, what I do reflectively, being a tool, I wouldn't know, right? So what I'll do is I'll take this field name and I'll add getter here and I change the case here to first name and then I'll add this guy. This is my method name. So I will try to go to customer.getFirstName, which does not exist. But I don't think it is doing that. It's actually, to me, it appears that it's taking the field name as is. Let's change the field name. I'll say FN. It's a private. I can safely refactor this guy. You know what I did? Control Shift R refactor. Sorry, Alt Shift R. When I do Alt Shift R, this is how I refactor it. Okay. Now let's do it. Now let's see what happens. I don't mind learning with you. So
that's okay.
So in this case also it worked. That is very bizarre. Let's look at FN. Okay. Let's see what happens. See here. It is saying property not found exception, property FN not found in this one, right? So we definitely have FN here, right? But it won't care about the property. Rather, it looks for a method called getFN. Okay. Now you change your method to getFN, everything works. Are you getting it? But what I wanted to show you is getFN will not work is what I wanted to show you, but I failed. Because they looks like, first time for me, okay, looks like, because we all use Eclipse shortcuts, right? But what it appears to me is that it does the equals ignore case, meaning it ignores the case in this case. Either it's uppercase or lowercase, but this was not the case. This was not the case until recently, but I don't know when it got changed. But I learned something new. Did you understand what I was trying to say here? Or maybe this is all. Did you guys understand? At least my intention.
Yeah, let me repeat what you tried to do. So you wanted to put non-standard getters and setters, and we were expecting that not to work. But to your surprise, what you found was it's working.
Non-standard is a generic word. It's actually what I wanted to show is, let me do this. Non-standard is maybe a generic word. See, when you have a first name, your getter should have get first name is my point. Okay. Otherwise, because using reflection, this is how the Java Bean spec said. Okay, F should be uppercase and then put a get in front of it and then call that particular method. That's your getter method. That is how the Java Bean specification said. But even though we changed the case to F, it worked. That is a surprise, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm calling non-standard. You were expecting it not to work, but it did work.
It did work. So
Yeah.
it looks like it is taking it is case insensitive, which I found out for the first time. Okay.
Because the last video I saw, and you said this is it is the capital letter, and so it's working. But now you are saying it's not working. It's working now if you change the F and N also, right?
Right. Slowly. Say that again. Madhavi, can you say that one more time? Because I don't want you to go with
because the last video. I saw your video, and there is a you said there is a get first name. So F is the capital and N is the capital. Then it was working. But now today you are saying if you change F is small and N also small, it is also working. So what is the difference means?
Sorry, not following actually.
She said the right thing actually. I heard it.
Sorry, can you repeat one more time?
She's saying that she saw in your video,
in
your previous video, in one of your earlier videos, you said what you specified, that with the so-called standard, I'm using the word standard to mean what the specifications actually.
Yep.
With the standards, following the standard naming, getter and etc., it did work, and when you deviated from that, it did not work, which you were expecting in this case. That's what she saw in the video.
You mean in the last batch video? Is that what you're saying?
Last batch video. That's what she said. Yeah.
Let's hear from her. Madhavi. Yeah. Madhavi.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
So in my last batch video, it did not work, but this time it worked. Is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, that's a surprise. I'm telling you, I learned something new. Because it should not work, but I'm thinking that this is a newer version of Tomcat and newer version of specification. So probably they are doing equals ignore case. It shouldn't work. It shouldn't work. So that's my fundamental say. That's how I've been doing it for several years, but probably I'm thinking today that it may be insensitive in the recent version of server spec. In the recent
previously that was a bug.
Fix that bug. Maybe not. Maybe I'll read upon that. Okay. You know what? Let's take it offline. But that's surprised. But you got the point, right? As soon as So here, when I say get first name, there is a Java bean specification that every single tool, your Spring depends on that, Struts depends on that, EL depends on that, all of these depend on that. Okay. In fact, when we use reflection, I actually coded myself reflection with this specification exclusively myself. I mean, I'm not a tool developer or anything, but for something I had to do it. So we know that. I've been coding it for 15 years like this. So, but this one, maybe it's into, I don't want to say it could be a defect. I don't think so. Maybe I wanted to say that it could be made case insensitive in the recent versions. It's possible. Okay.
Maybe they've relaxed the
That's what I'm thinking. That it's unlikely that it could be a defect. And yeah. Okay. Totally possible. So
Okay, the central point is, with this feature, what you are doing is you are avoiding the recording of getter, and you're directly giving the name over here, and it's getting it.
exactly. See,
So that's the basic thing.
not only that, using EL, I want you to understand one thing here. When you say first customer, okay, actually, what did we do so far? You put an object, you put a customer with the name first customer in the request scope, right? So what do you have to do without EL? Can one of you tell me? What do you have to do to display these details in JSP? What do I have to do? If you don't have EL, what do you have to do?
We have to, in the JSP, we have to use the get attribute, request.get attribute.
Exactly. I highlighted here. You have to do a request.get attribute with this name, right? This is exact same code. This is exact same code. You have to do this one. So first, sorry, request.get attribute with this name like this. Okay? Customer something C equal to, of course, you typecast to that guy. Okay? And then you do C dot get first name, C dot last name. You are not doing this one, and you are also not doing C dot get first name, C dot get last name. You don't have to. So this is the beauty of expression language. Okay? So use expression language wherever possible, and later we will we are going to build a nice, simple application, right? In that application, we will see how we'll use collections, how we'll use maps, etc. This is not the only thing that EL does. EL does much more than that. Okay. So,
Venkat, can you take to the servlet, please, just for a minute?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
So that is about expression language. Very briefly. Okay. We will probably come back and revisit during our application. When we build the application, we will revisit a lot of things. Still, I could not eliminate the Java code. Still, I could not eliminate the Java code. See here? See here? I still have decent Java code here, but I don't want to have a Java code here. So we successfully eliminate the HTML code in servlets, but we wanted to eliminate the Java code from JSPs. How do we do that? Well, for that, we have a concept called tag libraries. We have a concept called tag libraries. Okay, what's a tag library? What is a tag? What is a tag library, etc., etc. Okay, let's understand this guy. So what you can do We don't like Java code in HTML. That's period. But there is some logic that's involved here. I'm going through a for loop here, and in some cases I may want to do if-else condition in the front end. Here I'm going through the for loop of customers. It's very fair requirement, right? This can't be done somewhere in your servlet. No, it's at the time of displaying all the customers in the front end. So how can I do it? Well, you can't do it. So, but what they said is, what we want to see code is like your HTML. We want to see HTML like code. The HTML like code, as much HTML like code as possible in HTML, and we don't want to see the Java code. We don't want to see Java code, or we want to see very, very, very less Java code. So to do this, they've introduced something called tag libraries. What a tag library is, you write the actual Java code in your .java classes. Sorry about it. Okay. So what a tag library is, you have to write a for loop, and that's a Java code. We have to write it, right? So there's no alternative for that. So sure, no problem. Write your Java code in your .java file. I mean, writing a Java code in a .java file makes perfect sense. And that is what we are good at. We will do it. But now, what we want to see in the JSP page is HTML-like code like this, right? HTML-like code. So we can create some HTML-like tags like how we have a table, like how we have tr, td, etc. Similarly, we can create our own tags. Okay, like a for loop. If you want to go through a collection of customers or a list of customers, sure, we can write a for loop. Just by saying a new custom tag here, but I don't want to write the Java code here, right? Like in this code, in this way. So you're here, I don't want to write code like this. I can write some custom tags, and whenever this custom tag is called, I want my Java code to be called. So I want to link up my Java code and my HTML-like tag. I want to link up my Java code and my HTML-like tag. So I'm writing my own custom tags now. But the code logic under the hood, the actual logic that does the work, I will place it in a .java file. But I will link both of them up. I will link both of them up. That is called tag library. I'll show you. If you want to loop through the bunch of customers here, all I want to do is So there is a tag called for each. Okay, and for each I will say items equal to, I'll just do something like, okay, in all of these customers, this is like your for each, your Java for each. See here, for each customer, I'll put them in a variable called customer. Okay, and now I want to see code like this, not like this, because people, web designers, they looking at this code, they think that some HTML like code, right? But here they get scared because this is Java code, they don't want to see it. So what we are doing with custom tags is we are separating out both the Java code and the HTML like code, and we are going to make it full HTML. And for that, we use something called JSTL. Okay. For that, we have something called JSTL. JSP standard tag library, a template library, JSTL. So using JSTL, what you can do is you can eliminate the Java code and rather you can put some decent tags like this. Okay, so how do we use JSTL? So first of all, we need to download JSTL. Okay, JSTL has two parts, JSTL API and implementation. So go to API and then get this jar file. Where is that? Yep. Click on this. We'll download the jar file. Okay, I already downloaded it. So, and then go to implementation and then get the JSTL, and then I already downloaded it. Okay, you need both JSTL API and implementations. These two guys. Okay, now let me show you. We'll put them, where do we put these jar files? Where do we put the jar files? WebINF lib, like any other jar files, right? And now what we will do is,
And then build path, right?
what is that?
And then do the build path after putting that in the lib.
Yeah, if we need them at the compile time, we put it. If we need them at the compile time. Now, so this is called page directive, right? This is one of the JSP page directives. JSP has one more directive like this called tag lib. Okay, so how do I use tag lib? Now, this is where the URI comes into picture and prefix. I'll tell you what's going on here. So at the JSP loading time, what I'm going to tell is, hey, can you please load a tag library? The reason it is called library is because each library has a lot of tags. So one of the tags is for each. One of the tag is if, one of the tag is else, one of the tag is when, one of the tag is otherwise, one of the tag is exception. So, okay, there are a lot of tags that are given for us to use instead of the Java code. You writing the Java code in JSP and making your page look ugly. It's not actually making your page look ugly. It's mainly confusing your web designers. You don't want to confuse them with a lot of code, with a lot of Java code here. Okay, so now we need to give the URI of that particular tag library. Okay, And now JSTL has several tag libraries, not just one. Okay, I'll show you. What you do is go to your JSTL implementation and then 7-zip, open the jar file, and then go to your meta inf folder. So this is where this JSTL has several tag libraries. Each tag library describes about itself. How many tags do we have? In what cases do we use? Instead of using Java code, you can use your tag is what I'm saying, right? Your custom tag. So there are all these tags have been defined by you. All these tags are defined for you by the JSTL guys. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. And one of the most important thing is c.tld. C stands for core. Okay, let's open that up. It looks ugly like this. Okay, let's try to edit. How do I best open this guy? How do I best open this guy so that it's more readable? It's not readable. So what I'll do is I'll just copy and I'll copy, paste it in our Eclipse. Okay, it's an XML file. I'll just say t.tld. Okay, look at it. So this is just to make it look better. Okay, how many tag libraries do we have? We have one for core. Okay, this deals with a lot of core things like a for loop, if, when, else, etc. And now we have SQL that you can use at the time of SQL. If you want to do, it's an extremely bad idea calling SQL from your JSP, but if at all you need to do it, you can go use some SQL TLDs format. If you want to display date in certain formats, go for format. If you want to display numbers in certain formats, dollars in certain format, go for format. Okay, these are all the tag libraries, and the most important one is core. Now we're looking at TLD file. What is a TLD? Tag library descriptor. Okay, it stands for tag library descriptor. Tag library descriptor. Tag library descriptor. It describes about the tag library. How many tags do I have it, and what do I use each one of them for, etc. Okay, see here. Now, how do I reference this tag library? How do I say that, hey, use this particular tag in this tag library? Well, each tag library, okay, each tag library has this URI. Oh, sorry, not this one. Where is this guy? URI here. Each tag library has a URI. URI, Unified Resource Identifier. As we are talking about the difference between URL and URI, URI does not have to be a web location. It can be anything. In this case, they gave http://java.sun.com/jsp/jstl/core. If you go there, is it a real website? Well, it took you to oracle.com. We went to this guy, java.sun.com/jsp/jstl. It took us to oracle.com. So what did it use under the hood? Response.send redirect. Anyways, so it's not a real web page. So in fact, you can give your name, Earlier Rohit asked this one, you can give Rohit name. So every tag library descriptor will have a URI that uniquely identifies that particular component. And now you can reference this guy. Now I'm saying in my JSP page that, hey, I wanted to use a tag library with this URI. And now I don't want to give this big name. I wanted to use in my JSP page, I wanted to give some prefix for this one. I'm giving C. Since it is code, I can give any prefix. And now, if you want to use all the tags within this tag library, all you have to do is you have to put this prefix here, C colon. Now, look at it, C colon catch. So there is a tag called catch here. If you look for that, there is a tag called catch. See here, name catch. Catches any throwable that occurs in its body and optionally exposes it. That's what it does. What description? Read about it. When do you want to use it? Name of the, oh, this is about the attribute description. Okay. This is for the tag description. Now go to another tag called choose. Simple conditional tag that establishes a context for mutually exclusive conditional operations marked by when and otherwise. Good. This is like a C choose is like if else block, and then if CF. This is like a simple if, and then you can use these attributes like a test. Okay. You can read all of that. This is like your API. This is like your Java API. It tells about the tag library. Okay. Now, how can you use it? C colon. Now, catch, choose, for each, all of this, you have it. See out, it will display it. So, understand now? Let's delete this guy. Now, if I don't want to use this Java code, what I need to do is C colon, there is a tag called for each. Okay. In the C colon for each, you have an attribute called items. In the items, you show runtime expression of this guy, customers. Okay, so then it will look for, what it does is it will look for an object with the name customers in request.get attribute. So you don't even have to write this one. It will automatically look for request.get attribute of customers, and then for each customer, each object that I found it with this name, I'm putting in a variable called customer. This is like your for each customer. This variable and this variable are same, and this one is it's doing dual purposes. It will use this guy to check in the request scope and get all of them, and then it will loop through it like for each, and then it will put this into this variable. And now once you have this guy, all you need to do is you can use your ELs here. You can use your EL, your simple expression language like this. Oops, customer, right? Customer dot first name, and then, sorry, you can use your simple EL, or you can use C out. I'll show you C out probably in the next class. But since we just learned EL, okay, everything can be taken out now. You don't need all of this Java code. You don't need all of this Java code. You don't need any of it. You don't need all of this Java code. You don't, I mean, this one we just showed an example. That's it. this is this simple code that you have. Unknown tag JSP colon directive. That's Eclipse thing. Okay, that's it. You are writing this less code, and you are actually looking at it as if it's a simple HTML. Does it give you any feeling that it's Java? There's no more Java code, right? Agree? How simple this one is. Any questions? I'll take some questions. Understood everything? Yeah?
Yeah, for me it's okay.
Can you run it? So here I am using JSTL API.
Hello, Venkat, can you hear me?
Hey, I'm sorry. I was speaking on mute. Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Now, yes.
Okay, I was speaking on mute. Sorry. um, so what I'm saying? Yeah. So where did I mute myself? Okay. So this JSTL is what we are using. And in some cases, for some special situations of your project, of your needs, JSTL may not have answer. Maybe you're doing something, something entirely different, and JSTL does not have a tag that can do your work, right? In that case, what happens is you have to write your custom tags rather than writing your scriptlets. Rather than writing your scriptlets or JSP expressions, do not write them. I'm telling you, no scriptlets, no JSP expressions, no scripting elements from today onwards. Try to avoid them completely. Okay, and last, a lot of companies have this rule saying that no scriptlets in Java code, no scripting elements in the Java code. Rather, you have to use the combination of EL and JSTL. The combination, you can avoid it. You can eliminate the Java code. If you cannot eliminate it, for some special needs, you can write your own tag libraries. You can definitely write your own tag library. In fact, I wanted to show you something. See here in c.tld, right? Let me copy paste this one more time. The way you can definitely write your own custom tag libraries. It's I'm not going to cover that, but definitely, sorry, that's entirely doable. Okay, look at it. You at least I want you to understand this one. I don't have to tell you how to write the actual custom tags, but understand the architecture here, or design here. Simple. So for this particular tag called catch, right? So when you do c:catch, or let's do the one we did for each, you know what happens when you do c:for each? This is the tag class that will be called. So there is a class called org.apache.taglibs.standard.tag.rt.runtime.core. For each tag. This class will be called under the hood when you called this one. That particular class will take whatever you have here, and it will do the magic for you. Understand? So that's about TLD. Again, it's not too depth, but I don't want to go too depth as well, because as we do the application, we will be using a lot of these things. You're using c:for each, right? If you have something like if else, we can do all of this when we see if. You can do something like, okay, here you do 1 = 1, okay, and then you can print it. c:out. What c:out does is it will just print out. It will just print out. Just Venkat will be printed on it. Okay. If 1 = 1, then Venkat will be printed. Otherwise, it will not be printed. So this is cout is nothing but it's like this guy.
So it will be printed to where? To the console or to
the browser? To the browser. This is
browser.
like your
Okay. out.println. Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, just making sure. Okay. Thanks.
Or out.write or out.println.
Yeah.
So you are actually writing in servlets, right? This out is actually an instance of the JSP writer, like how you have the print writer. So that is out is an object of that guy, JSP writer. So you can write to the browser instead of doing out.println, you can do a simple cout thing. Okay, or you can use your EL too. Definitely you can use EL. And then if you do, if else condition, then you can do something like choose. Within this, you can write when 1 = 1, okay, if it says when this is true, value equal to, 1 is really equal to 1. Otherwise, C colon otherwise. Okay. Ouch. Like this. So you can use if-else conditions like this. Rather than writing Java code like this, the equivalent Java code for this one would be like this, right? If 1 equal to 1, okay? I'm just going to write like this. So if I have to write,
Or just one is enough. You don't need to give 1 equal to 1, right? Just Boolean, if 1.
that expression has to resolve it to true or false, right? How can it resolve to true or false?
If you put 1,
This will not resolve to.
always resolve to true. It will always resolve to true if 1.
That's
At
if
least
it is variable.
in C it works like that though. If 1, it'll never stop.
Um, one second. Else. Now we can do something like. See here, this is the Java code. Okay, now say sorry, Shravan. So you're saying like this?
If you put if 1, that'll act like if 1 equal to 1.
No.
In C
It's
it works though.
see, you have to write an expression in if block that has to resolve to 1. That has to resolve to either true or Boolean expression. That's what you need. 1 is not a Boolean expression. It's an expression that doesn't written anything. Right?
Yeah, but
in C
what
it
I'm
works.
saying is it gives the same effect. Like if you give if 1, then it works.
Not in Java.
Really?
Uh-huh.
In C or in many other languages, like if you want to create an infinite loop, you do a while 1, and then just write something. It'll keep on doing that.
Look at it.
While 1, if 1, yeah.
Your compiler cannot convert from int to Boolean. This has to be you write.
Okay, then in Java it's like that.
You write 100 lines of code, but it has to resolve whatever you have in this parenthesis should resolve to Boolean expression.
Okay, in Java it's like that, but in other languages, what happens is if you put if 1 in some languages,
that's
I'm
fine.
saying, it makes it as 1 equal to 1.
Did you guys get it? So this is the equivalent code, and this is so the point I'm making here is that this is very Java-ish. Some Java, some HTML, some Java, some HTML, some Java. See all of that? It's ugly. It looks pretty ugly, right? So here, it all looks just like HTML. But your designer may not understand C, what is choose. He'll ignore it, right? But this one is like it's KSIM, this kind of syntax, right? It's mainly for the maintainability. So, okay, that's it. That's about the JSTL. And then we'll do more examples. Probably I did not talk about the most important topic yet, session tracking. I'll talk about it in the next class, and then we'll try to do with all of these concepts before I jump into Spring itself. I want to do a small. It doesn't have to be whatever we have been doing, right? Getting from the database and show it, or take something from the browser and store it in the database, etc. So we'll do something like that. And then once we have the session tracking in place, we can do some simple shopping cart kind of thing. So we don't want to immediately go into the database. We want to say, hey, your item has been added. Your iPhone has been added to the basket. Now add one more. I'll add one more. I'll add one more. And finally, we'll say checkout. At the time of checkout, then we will process them in the database. So that's fun. definitely fun, but I need a favor from you. What that one is? We're talking about customers, right? Okay, we are talking about customers. Customer will have several products. One customer can buy more than one product, right? So we have the customer object, customer DAO, customer DAO JDB simple. We have all of this. I need this one. If you don't give me if you don't send me by tomorrow, probably I will write. But I'm not going to write that in the class because I'm not going to go back to DAO anymore, right? So it's not a new code, so I will end up writing it. But if you guys, I think we talked about it at least a week back, saying you will write this product, right? Product Java, sorry, product.java, product DAO.java, product DAO JDB simple.java. I want that at least the DAO layer completely. I want find by.
Okay, DAO layer you want, right?
Yes,
I've already
please.
written the DAO layer, but I have written with another my own thought out application with a lot of joins and things like that.
Okay.
With laptop owner,
No,
cell phone,
I
customer. Okay.
want find all or get all products. I want these methods mainly. I want get all products and then find by customer, meaning I'll give you the customer ID. You give me all the products that customer bought it.
One second. Let me write it down. Find by customer ID.
Find
First
by customer
ID.
ID. Maybe customer ID is not.
All products that a customer bought, right?
Yeah, I mean, ideally there is an order in between. There is an order in between, right? You know what? Let's put order here itself. So ideal design is that you have a customer, you have order, you have products. Customer will have several orders. Each order will have several products. That's the ideal design. But I'm fine. Give me the products for now. Get all products and get by customer ID and add a product, update a product, and delete a product. Give me all of this.
Okay, Venkat, one quick thing. See, for the customer, we have we have got the table layout. But for the order and products, do you have the table layout anywhere?
No. But
that's something that
I
we have
think
to think about.
Yeah, that's where you guys come into picture.
Okay.
Forget about order for now. Okay.
No,
we can flatten it out for now. It's not a great design. We can flatten it out saying, order ID will be in the products. I think that's what we talked earlier. So I'm fine with that design.
Okay. Now I'm asking a question to everybody. Does anybody have the design for the products? Then in that case, I'm going to use that design. I don't want to put any thought to it, actually. I'm feeling lazy about it.
I think we talked a week back and put some things like product ID, order ID, etc. I thought we did it. So
product ID, order ID,
and product name,
product name,
purchase date, or something like that. Yeah.
Purchase.
I know we are mixing the concerns here, but that's okay. That's a good start.
Price and the price, right?
Product price.
You guys think about it. Okay, that's all I have.
You can't hear.
Venkat, can you send us a link for the JSTL API download?
Yeah,